Hello everyone, welcome to Sketchbook Sunday number 2. This should have been number 3, but because of technical difficulties last week, this is number 2. I'm essentially doing the same thing. I am doing some figure drawing / figure doodling in my sketchbook this week. I'm actually near the end of the sketchbook, so I think what I'll do is I'll do a sketchbook tour next Sunday, and we'll go from there. So first and foremost, I try to get as much figure drawing in as possible. I haven't done it a lot in this book, but I find it something that I like to do. If I'm stuck on what to draw, or even as a good warm-up, this is great. I never do it as a warm-up. I always do it when I'm a little burnt out from trying to imagine something up to draw, or, I'm not feeling up to drawing anything elaborate, even though some of these poses can be kind of elaborate. But this is a great way to sort of fill up your sketchbook too. It doesn't always have to be these neat and tidy pieces. Because I think a lot of artists are like that. We create a lot of neat and tidy pieces in our sketchbook, and that's not what it's for. It's for practice. It's, for concepts. It's supposed to be a little bit messy. Not so messy that if you did a sketchbook tour, nobody would know what was going on, but, it should be enough that, people can actually take the time to actually look at your sketchbook and, see what you've got on your mind, or what you've been doing, or what you've been practicing. I don't go to a website I don't go to a figure drawing website specifically to do my figure drawing. I go to Pinterest. I should have included a clip. The one I had previously recorded, I had included a clip. But basically, I just go on Pinterest and I look up pose references, and they usually give you other suggestions at the top there if you do something so vague. Sometimes I choose from them, sometimes I just go straight forward, because it always seems to update itself, and even now I can see the crookedness of my my piece up there in the right corner. Sorry about that. But because of the way I was drawing, I knew that it would probably look a little funny. It would probably have a slight slant to it in some degree. And mine's always seemed to lean towards... actually, I don't think it has a preference when it leans for me. The pose there I'm working on now was a pose of two people kissing, because I need to work on interaction between two people a little more. And oh boy, did this not go the way I had wanted. So yeah, that kind of sucks, because I had really liked the pose, but it was not going the way I wanted. I was trying to do this quickly. Normally I take, like an hour or so sometimes to just do my figure drawings and try to take my time on things that are a little more difficult for me to get my hands around. Also, if you notice, my background is a lot different from the intro there. I recorded the intro, I think, a week and a half before I brought a desk into my room. I have figured out a good position for my camera, thankfully. Now, I don't know that this would work for larger pieces, but for my sketchbook size and probably 8.5 by 11 max, this would be a pretty good size. I'm going to have to move my laptop a little more next time. It was just right next to me because I had been watching some videos and such. Anyway, what I like about doing these practice pieces is sometimes I do a pose, or I see a pose that I like, and I'll try to copy it to the best of my ability. But if it's like a photography piece that I'm using, what I'll do is sometimes I'll try to change it a little bit just to make it my own. There is one piece in particular that I'll show you on the second page. Actually, there was a couple of pieces that I like the poses of. One I did better the first time I did this video. But sometimes they become inspiration for, actual art pieces to be done. And I'll save them. I've taken now to just sort of writing notes, and sometimes I'll just put a check mark next to the ones that I really like. I was also trying to practice a bird's eye view and a worm's eye view. I think the other term is ant's eye view. I just wanted to practice those a little bit because they're not my strong point, and I rarely do them. So it's good to get in that kind of practice as well. You know, different angles and such. I do need to do some more face studies in terms of angles as well, because that seems to be a big problem I have, especially if I'm doing anything traditionally. It just never comes out the way I want. And I'm glad that I'm using a different purple in this particular piece, because I was struggling the last time because it couldn't show up on camera. Also, if you don't see me drawing for a couple minutes, it's usually because I'm trying to find a pose to draw. But yeah, I try to steer clear of just drawing people standing up all the time. I didn't do any sitting poses in this particular one, like I had attempted in the other one. So that's something I need to work on. But I tried to get them in angles that I don't typically draw, stretched out in certain ways, certain angles, laying down. I don't draw a lot of people laying down at all, despite the fact that I feel like a person who lays down all the time. I do that a lot when I'm bored, or I can't think of anything to do with myself. I just sort of lay down. I actually really like this last pose on this page too. It's not really practical for a piece unless I wanted to do a really funny piece, but yeah, it actually came out pretty good, and I'm very, very happy with that. Now, fleshing that out might be a different story. It might come out way different. So if I try these again, I think what will happen is I'll try to draw them uh, a little more differently. Oh, and here's the last sketch on this page. I had I think like a minute left, and I was trying to get through it, so I was going extremely fast, trying to just see how fast I can go and get like the basic shapes down. And also, because of my camera having a certain amount of time it can record in one go, mine's is 15 minutes. So I was really rushing against the clock there to try to finish that up. And on to the next page. This was actually a really nice page. So I tried someone cooking. I think I got the pan wrong. I actually got it very wrong now that I can see it. But yeah, I was like, well, let's do something holding objects, because I think the most I've ever done is maybe a bow and arrow. That was the most technical piece. Something very large and, you know, of course not human in any capacity. So I was just like, let's try that out. And I have a couple of sketches in my sketchbook, and a piece that I've got mapped out on my computer that features that pose with a bow and arrow. I find it very, very I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. But I really enjoy doing pieces like that where I can stretch a little more. I know there's tons of more studies that I really need to do with myself, but I'll work on that. This is another pose that I really like. That includes a person, a larger person protecting a smaller person. It could be a child. You could even use that particular pose for people who are smaller, like Havlins, or I guess, what is the term I'm looking for? I just watched it last night. Hobbits, there we go. Yeah, my mom was watching Lord of the Rings yesterday, and I couldn't think of the word. But yeah, or anything smaller, race-wise, either based in actual mythology or just completely made up out of the blue. But that's a really, really great pose. I don't know if it's necessarily dynamic, but it's definitely different. And then I just played around and did one of those little drawing meme poses. I forget which one it is, but I'm sure some of you will know the pose when you see it. I just tried a lot of different things this time, and I always try to do different things. I usually do a lot of ballerinas. I'm surprised that I didn't do any this time. Although I suppose I got one dancer in, an aerial dancer. I am sort of miffed that I didn't do as well this time around. It should be coming up next, if I'm not mistaken. I think part of it is because the hoop she's on is throwing me off a lot, and I was trying to compensate for the hoop, so I tried drawing the hoop first, and then, drawing the character around the hoop, and it didn't go as planned. The last time what happened is I actually drew the person first, and it actually came out pretty good. And then I tried to draw the hoop around them, and the hoop was throwing me off a lot, and the hoop came out really wonky, and I was just like, you know what? Hopefully the third time I do this, it'll be all coherent. And I did draw this upside down. Because of my tablet, it does rotate, even though I can easily take that off. It does rotate, but I wanted to challenge myself to not have to change the picture I'm looking at, just so I can get a grasp on what I'm drawing. Not that you should have to do that. It's not necessary to do that. That's just the way I decided to do it. But the pose as a whole, I still have on my Pinterest, and I hope to be using that soon. I think it'd be a great piece to use. I'll just have to fix it in some way that it's not a direct copy, because it wasn't necessarily a reference photo. It looks like somebody was just practicing and somebody snapped a photo. That's the way I see it. So I would definitely have to change the pose a little bit just to get it to not be a complete copy, because nobody really wants to copy. I mean, it's a great way to practice, but it's not something that I practice wholeheartedly anymore. I try my best to sort of change things a little bit if I can help it. And I mean more than just, who I'm drawing, because I never draw the people that are in the photos themselves. I try to just use the basic shapes, and then draw my own characters in it. Like this piece I'm doing down here was two sisters, and I really liked the composition of the piece. It was really simple, but I switched it a little, and you'll see at the top when I'm finished with it that I write that I like this one. So that picture could go in a couple of different directions, but I have one specific direction in mind. Now, the question is, who do I want to use for this particular pose? Because I've used poses in the past. I have a mini reader piece that I sort of sketched in the beginning of my sketchbook, and I was just like, oh, I think the pose was from my last sketchbook, and I really, really enjoyed it, so I just tried to recreate it, and I changed it because the picture was just two kids standing. The pose they were in, they were just flat-footed. Now, which I believe they're mini arenas, they'll probably be more on point. So I tried to do it that way. And the last two pictures are more interactions between. These are more mothers with children. This is something I really, really don't do that frequently, and I was just like, I need to try this out and get better at it. Because it's nice to do that sometimes. It's nice to have different interactions to draw, and not limit yourself to just one character per page. Or if you do more than one character per page, it's nothing like super dynamic, like they're fighting, or something nothing, there's anything wrong with this, nothing sort of just typical, oh, they're getting along, they're pals, or maybe they're arguing. I wanted to do different interactions because I don't see this a lot in the artist community. I don't see a lot of parent kid interactions when it comes to artists, and not to say that they don't do this or they haven't practiced this. It's just something that I don't see very frequently. But we're coming to the end of this. I had like one last image that I tried to sketch out really quickly, so I think I had like 30 seconds to actually try to do this, and I was like, why did I wait so long? But the basic sketch that I got done is actually not that terrible. It could use some work, but that is neither here nor there. I can always go back and look at the pose again and get it done. But here's the finished images of what I had done. If you like this video, please take the time to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new here, I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribe. And if you're an oldie, please give this video a thumbs up and share. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye!